Anyone who loves driving knows the numbers never tell the whole story. Beyond the numbers, some cars just feel right. An intangible magic you can't always put into words. Back in the late 80s, that feeling belonged to a small German sedan with just two bold characters on the trunk, M3. The E30 was light, temperamental in a good way, and always eager to change direction. It looked simple on paper. Low weight, rear drive balance, an engine that loved to rev. In practice, it felt like wizardry. Owners still talk less about lap times and more about how alive it was. For a few more generations, the silky E36 and the razor-sharp E46, BMW kept the dialogue alive. But eventually, that conversation grew quieter. Safety gear added pounds. Turbochargers flattened throttle response, and the once bold slogan of ultimate driving machine started to read more like a museum plaque. Enthusiasts began to wonder, does any modern car still speak clearly to its driver? Or are we all stuck now listening through the digital muffle? Then, in 2016, a surprise arrived from across the Atlantic. Ford launched the Shelby GT350, a Mustang with a 5.2-liter flat-plane crank V8 that screamed beyond 8,000 RPM and a chassis tuned for feedback, not just straight-line stats. On paper, it looked like an outlier. From the driver's seat, it felt, almost shockingly, like a modern echo of those early M cars, direct, chatty, and eager to make you a part of the process. This isn't a funeral for BMW's past. It's a look at how that old magic resurfaced in a pony car built in Michigan. The badge has changed, but the goal somehow stays the same. In 1986, BMW dropped the first ever M3, a stubby, box-fendered coupe that felt wired straight into your nervous system. Its four-cylinder barely cleared 190 horsepower, yet every brake tap, throttle blip, and steering twitch echoed back instantly through that unassisted rack. Ultimate driving machine wasn't just marketing, it was fact. Fast forward to 1992 and the E36. The edges had softened up with power steering, real insulation, and a silk smooth straight six. It became quicker and more grown up, but on a winding road, you can still adjust to your line with a millimeter of throttle and feel the tires load up through the wheel. The chatter has calmed down, but has not become muted. By 2000, the E46 rolls in, what many call peak M3. The S54 straight six hurdles past 8,000 RPM through individual throttle bodies, and the hydraulic steering never shuts up. Every grain of pavement, every rise and cornering load pours straight into your palms. The chassis, stitched together with extra bracing and laser welded seams, refuses to flex. Point the nose at an apex and the car pivots with zero lag, the suspension breathing just enough to keep the tires glued. Heated leather and automatic climate control join the party, proving refinement and involvement can share the same front row without drowning out the dialogue. Across these three cars, the formula evolves. More power, better brakes, a gradual move towards civility, but the core promise never wavers. Crisp throttle response, transparent steering, and a chassis that feels eager rather than intimidating. By the late 2000s, BMW's ads still bragged ultimate driving machine, but the cars were clearing their throats. The E92 M3's 8,400 RPM V8 sang beautifully, yet softer suspension, extra insulation, and ever-present electronics muffled the intimacy, like chatting with an old friend through glass. Then came the turbocharged F80 M3. It had wall-to-wall torque, lightning DCT shifts, and adaptive everything. Lap times dropped, but throttle nuance, intake wail, and steering chatter were gone. The car felt more bodyguard than dance partner. Drivers kept asking the same question: where's the car that still speaks to you? Ford heard this question, and its engineers dreamed up a Mustang that valued feel over figures. It had a flat plane V8, 6-speed manual only, and a chassis tuned to talk back. The 2016 Shelby GT350 didn't just revive the conversation, it shouted it from the pit lane. In 2014, Ford Performance greenlit a new Shelby GT350, one meant to honor Carroll Shelby's 1965 original, but with precision taking priority over brute force. What rolled off the Flat Rock line in 2016 wasn't just a faster Mustang. It was a Mustang fluent in nuance. Steering effort, brake feel, even the pitch of the Voodoo's intake howl came back to the driver in full sentences, reviving a style of conversation many thought had ended with the naturally aspirated BMWs of decades past. The stripes were familiar, but the dialogue felt surprisingly fresh and unmistakably in tune with the original ultimate driving machine idea. Slide into the GT350 and the idol greets you first. Loping, restless, like the car's tugging at its leash. Ease onto an open stretch of road, sweep past $5,000, and the flat plane Voodoo swaps its baritone thrum for a wail more Marinello than Dearborn. That song is only the invitation. The real magic is how everything else joins the dialogue. Turn-in is instant, yet never twitchy, because Ford left real heft in the wheel, letting you feel the front tires load up, grab, and then hint its slip. Mid-corner, the Magnaride settles the body in one clean motion. You sense springs working, not software muting. Breathe off the gas, and the nose tucks just enough, E46 style. The mass managed so well you forget the curb weight exists. Row the Tremix short throw lever, and each gate lands with a satisfying click. Torque is broad, but the fireworks erupt north of 7,000 RPM, the needle ripping to 8,250. Turbo cars make bigger numbers, but few feel this alive. Downshifts blur into crisp blips, and the Brembos answer with a single decisive bite that builds pressure instead of flipping a switch. Neither the car nor your confidence ever begs for a cool-down lap. Back the pace off, and a second personality surfaces. Road noise is modest, the ride closer to a sports sedan than muscle car, and the Recaro's hug without bruising. There's real trunk space, Bluetooth that pairs on the first try, and 24 miles per gallon if you keep the V8 below its siren song. Like the best M3s, the Shelby wears two hats, weekday commuter, weekend instrument. Plenty of modern coupes are quicker or quieter, but few hold a conversation with a driver this rich. Every throttle crack, steering load, and brake squeeze speaks back, reviving an old promise that a driver's car should treat you as an accomplice, not a passenger reading data. In the 80s and early 2000s, that promise wore a BMW badge. Today, it rides beneath twin white stripes and a coiled snake. Park the GT350 beside an E46 and the lineage is obvious. High-rev heart, honest gearbox, chatty steering, and playful chassis. The badge changed, the philosophy never did. Stand next to a GT350 after the engine ticks itself cool, and it's hard not to smile at the irony. The car that now best captures old school BMW magic was born in Flat Rock, Michigan, not in Munich. Yet that twist is the real takeaway. Heritage isn't welded to one badge. It follows the engineers and executives willing to fight for feel over focus group metrics. And it can surface anywhere passion outvotes pragmatism. Look around and you can see sparks of that mindset catching on. Porsche answered with the Cayman GT4 RS. Toyota and Subaru have kept things simple but great with the GR86 twins. And even BMW shows flashes of the past in the M2 competition. None of these cars are sales juggernauts, but each proves a company will still build a purist machine if enough people ask for it and pay for it. What the GT350 adds to that conversation is proof that size and cylinder count don't have to kill connection. It weighs more than any classic M3 and wears a live axle silhouette that once stood for drag strips. yet it talks to the driver in a dialect that fluent enthusiasts thought was dying out. Mass, technology, emissions. All the usual suspects can be managed without muting the experience, provided the project brief starts with one stubborn word: engagement. So where does the road go from here? Ford has already closed the GT350 chapter. BMW continues straddling the line between spectacle and subtle, and regulations grow tighter by the year, but the lesson lingers. The ultimate part of the old slogan was never about being the fastest. It was about being the most alive. Any brand brave enough to chase that feeling, whether through a flat-plane V8, a screaming four-cylinder, or even tomorrow's electric motors, has a shot at that same kind of immortality. Until then, the loudest ambassador of Munich's golden era wears twin stripes and a coiled snake on its grill. And if that feels upside down, good. Legends are supposed to keep us on our toes. Thanks for watching. If you've made it this far and enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing. It really helps me keep making these videos.